Welcome back, IB Economics students, to this video lecture today on price control, specifically government interventions and price controls in the form of price ceilings and price floors. Okay, so price ceilings and price floors are limits on the price or the minimum or the maximum price a good to be sold at any given quantity. Okay, so governments usually set a minimum and maximum prices for a good to protect the consumers or to protect the producers. Okay, so what is the definition of a price floor? So price floor are minimum prices a good must be legally sold at, which means the good may not be sold at prices lower than the given price level. Okay, so what are some definitions or what are some examples of a price floor? So minimum price. The minimum price. For example, we could see corn, agricultural products, corn, potatoes, dairies. So sometimes dairy products, if dairy products are only sold at the free market equilibrium, then perhaps the farmers and the cattle ranch workers may not be able to make enough money to survive. Therefore, price floors or minimum prices have to be set in order for the interests of the producers to be met. On the other hand, price ceilings exist to protect the interests of the consumers. So our maximum prices a good must not legally exceed, which means the good may not be sold at prices higher than the given price level. What are some examples of price ceilings? A very common one is gasoline. So governments put limits on the maximum price for gasoline in order to ensure that consumers are not ripped off and that the interests of consumers are actually met. Now, what does this look like in graphic form? Let's blow this image up a bit. What does this actually look like in graphic form? So right here, this is an illustration of a price ceiling. So this point right here, this initial blue point right here shows the free market equilibrium, right? However, since the free market equilibrium is higher than the ideal or the socially optimum production quantity and production and quantity and good price, government sets a price ceiling, which is a maximum price ceiling, which is usually lower than the free market equilibrium. Therefore, the government sets a price ceiling at right here, at this yellow dot right here. And this yellow dot right here shows the maximum price at which a good could be sold at. Now there are implications for the quantity because at this location there is an axis of supply. Okay? Actually, there's axis of demand because there is more at a lower price, right? At a lower price, consumers are willing and able to buy more, while producers are willing and able to sell less. Therefore, there is an axis of supply leading to market failure. Okay. So price ceilings, although seeming as how it is perhaps maybe protecting the consumers' interests, actually in the long term may lead to a drastic decrease in quantity supply because producers look at this and say, you know what, this is not profit maximizing. I am actually losing money, or I am not maximizing my potential revenue and potential profit from selling this good. Why should I keep selling it? And therefore, the entire market suffers as a direct result. So price ceilings, although may be idealistic in the short run, may cause to be extremely harmful in the long run. So this is the price ceiling, what it looks like graphed. Now, a really common misconception is that price ceiling is set above the free market equilibrium. However, that is incorrect. Since price ceilings set maximum prices a good could be sold at, it is almost always below the free market equilibrium. Okay, so this is what the price ceilings look like. Now, what do price floors look like? Let's boom this picture up a bit. Okay, price floors are when governments, okay, price floors are when governments set minimum prices a good must be sold at. So, what are examples given? For example, dairy. Dairy is an example. For example, corn, where or other agricultural products are heavily subsidized, and governments want to ensure the interests of the producers are met. So the blue dot right here illustrates the free market equilibrium. However, the government wants to ensure that the interests of the producers are met. Therefore, the increase the minimum legal price that must be sold at, which is the price floor. Therefore, the price increases, and because of the price increase, consumers are willing and able to buy less of the good. Therefore, the quantity demanded decreases from around 3.5 to, let's say, 1.9. Therefore, as the price increases, according to the law of demand, the demand of a good decreases, causing there to be an excess of supply. So when price floors are implemented, there is an excess of supply. When price ceilings are implemented, there is an excess of demand. Okay, so that of which illustrates the two major concepts of price control, of basic government price control, which includes price floors and price ceilings. So price floors are when governments want to ensure that the interests of producers are met, and price ceilings when governments want to ensure that the interests of consumers are met. However, in both scenarios, market inefficiencies will be met, being seen as how the market is maximally or optimally efficient at the market equilibrium price. And when government interventions in the form of legislation, in the form of price controls, intervenes into the free market, then the free market is no longer existing at the maximum or the optimum quantity. Therefore, there will be excess of demand and excess of supplies. During a price ceilings, there's going to be an excess of demand. During price floors, there's going to be excess of supply. I hope this video is helpful in clarifying and actually defining using graphic form price floors and price ceilings, those of which are the most common methods of price control.